Test, 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 test. All right. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for being here today. It's 6:01. We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. We'll go ahead and stand really quick for the invocation. Mark, if you can lead us on that, and after that, we'll be pursuing to the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you for today. We thank you for such a great evening to be able to recognize a community member. We thank you for Geronimo and his service. We thank you for everything he's done for the city of Los Fresnos. We just lift him up to you, lift his family up to you, and just continue to bless them and as they serve in different capacities throughout this area. We just thank you for that. Thank you for all those that serve, including our elected officials. Please be with them tonight as they make decisions for our community, and we ask your blessings to continue on our city of Los Fresnos. We ask this in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So good evening, everybody. We got a couple of visitors' remarks. And first to the podium, I'd like to have James Unwin. Did I pronounce that right? James Unwin. Good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for being here today, and the mic is all yours.
Okay. Good evening, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council and citizens in attendance tonight. For those who do not have the pleasure to know me, my name is James Unwin, and I've been a resident of this little town for over 20 years. I come before you tonight to ask a simple question to a very complicated issue. Above your head is a sign that reads, Los Fresnos, Community with Opportunity. Please remember that as I ask my question tonight. Over the last several years, I have asked our city manager if we were going to open up a shelter for our citizens to go to if the weather got bad. Case in point, the freeze of 2 weeks ago and last year's freeze. I also asked when we were under hurricane watch, as to which our city manager replied, I'll look into that, and that's probably a good idea. No shelters were open. Now let's recap this situation. The dome was built in the city of Los Fresnos with federal dollars to be a weather emergency shelter. It sits on Los Fresnos Consolidated Independent School District property and is within Cameron County. All three entities failed to get this open for the people who so desperately needed it. These people have homes that cannot withstand such inclement weather. We all know and understand this. They too pay taxes and deserve better consideration on this matter. I've heard that it takes the county judge to order this to happen, but why? Why can't our city leaders lead and take action on their own? We do not need an order or permission to do the right thing and give our less fortunate citizens a warm place in a bitter cold or severe weather event. I go back to the sign above your heads and say this: community missed an opportunity to step up and do the right thing. I hope that at least one of the council members will put this as an agenda item and fix this problem. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you very much for your concern. At this time, our second visitor remark comes from Mr. Manuel Abrigo. You'd like to come up to the podium, please?
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. I'm here to just talk about the 2022 year that we had. It was a very unique year. Early on, we had the pandemic, but we had Los Fresnos was really involved with the fire department. We used the fire station. They did a heck of a job working with a health inspector, Ms. Guajardo, and the county judge. It was awesome. That was early on. Then we had in September where the city annexed some property west of town. That's also a great thing. It's orderly growth. It's great for the city. Right after that, we had the tax rate set. And for 15 years, we always kept saying the tax rate stayed the same. Well, for the first time this past year, it went down a penny. It's about $35,000 that the citizens are saving, so that's great. Right after that, in November, we had elections. We have two elected officials here in Los Fresnos. They got elected with tons of experience. Terry Vincent and Joe, and welcome. They got municipality. Both of them have been fire chief. Done a great job. So we're looking forward. I think the city's going in the right direction. After that, in the middle of November, we had, of course, our famous Whataburger came on board. Early December, we had the car wash. And by the way, if you haven't used the car wash, you need to sign up. It's very reasonable. You can sign up for the whole year. It's awesome. We need to support our businesses. And after the car wash, then on December the 13th, I appreciate what you guys did. And that's put the Citizen of the Year award. You took action and selected Mr. Geronimo Sheldon. And I know that this is his night tonight. And I just appreciate and thank you people for making it possible. I hope that 2023 brings the same, but without anything, with not much to say, I think the city is heading in the right direction. Sure, we got Highway 100. That's the first thing that people ask. But if you ever walked Highway 100, it was actually a crown. It was actually like 5 feet. It was terrible. And you couldn't see it in your car, but if you ever walked it. So now we can see the difference, and we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. So with that said, I think we're heading in the right direction. And thank you, Mayor, for your leadership, and the council members for everything you do. Sometimes you face tough issues, but here today, we're here to celebrate Mr. Sheldon, and it's his night. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abrigo. Thank you for those kind words. Moving on to the best part of the meeting, the proclamation and presentation of the 2022 Citizen of the Year, Geronimo Sheldon. Mark?
You want to start off with just the proclamation?
You want to start off with that?
Okay. Actually, Geronimo, if you could go up there and Ms. Mayor join him. Whereas the Los Fresnos City Council nominated Geronimo Sheldon as a 2022 Citizen of the Year on December 13th, 2022. Whereas Geronimo Sheldon served in the United States Navy from February 1971 to February 1975 as a firefighter. Whereas he served as a fire marshal with the City of Los Fresnos for 34 and a half years, a volunteer firefighter for 42 years, and an EMT with the Los Fresnos Emergency Services. Whereas Mr. Sheldon has dedicated his life to the Los Fresnos community and has demonstrated his deep and genuine love for this city through his continuous involvement as a volunteer firefighter and EMT. Whereas he contributed his time to participate in the annual Fire Prevention Week with the local elementary schools, impacting many lives. Whereas he shared his knowledge and skills with beginning firefighters, leaving his mark on the Los Fresnos Fire Service for many years to come. Whereas Mr. Sheldon's dedicated interest and devotion to duty has had a valuable effect on the efficiency and morale of his co-workers and firefighters, and we wish to extend him our sincere appreciation for his outstanding performance of duty. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the City Council of the City of Los Fresnos that Geronimo Sheldon is hereby selected and honored as a Citizen of the Year of the City of Los Fresnos for 2022 in recognition of his valuable contributions to the City of Los Fresnos, and that the City Council of the City of Los Fresnos does hereby express its heartfelt appreciation to Mr. Geronimo Sheldon.
Check. I'm not sure if this is working. Johnson. So I know that people can't hear us when I'm sorry? Red light is on, but it's not working. And I know this is for everybody online. All right there. All right, so I just want to say a couple of words real quick. So being that my father was a law enforcement person for 30 years for the city of Brownsville, seeing Mr. Sheldon here, his family, it's such a great honor to have somebody with the devotion that he has put forth for this town. It's easy to say, but not everybody does it. And so over the years, you know, that I've been here and I've known about you and all the stuff that you've done, I never really knew who you were, just seen you before. I met your son once in 1994 when I was a freshman here at Los Fresnos. I went to school here for a short time, 1 year. Then I ended up going back to Brownsville, but I always remember his face. And you know, seeing him and relating him to Mr. Sheldon here was it's quite an honor. But you know, I'm very proud of what he's done. Again, he puts his life on the line every single day, and the biggest support is his wife right here, who's also a community service. She's in that role in the education field, but knowing that both of them together have raised such good children and they're following in the footsteps, I think that's every dad's dream, is to have their children follow in their footsteps. I know at one point I was a police officer and I left it to follow my degree, but it's something that I always felt like I should have done. So knowing that your son is following in your footsteps is such a great example of the person that you are and what they're going to become. So, you know, it's emotional because it's hard to know that, you know, there's good people like you, and like I said, not everybody does what you do. You put your life on the line every single day, and as a city, we just want to know that we want you to know that we're grateful for the years of service that you put, and we want you to always remember this moment and know that the City of Los Fresnos will always accept you and welcome you into this community. So, just wanted to say those words.
Thank you.
With that said, I will give the council a time here to speak, but I do want to present you with the proclamation, so I can get it done the right way. So this proclamation here is honoring Mr. Geronimo Sheldon as the Citizen of the Year of 2022. So Mr. Sheldon, this is in behalf of all of us, to all of you. Again, thank you for your years of service. We're always going to be grateful for you, and may God bless you and your family.
Thank you.
Would you like to say a couple of words?
I'm truly honored and humbled by this award, but it's something I love to do, and I've told people, you know, if you love what you're doing, it's not job. It's not a job. But I'd like to thank the city and all the members and stuff for this award. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sheldon. I'm going to open it up to our council here if they want to say a couple of words. You got a mic here, or you can talk from your desk, or you can come up. I'll go ahead and start with you if you like.
Mr. Shelton, I don't know you personally, but the years you put in, you know, I remember when I was a kid, everybody would say 20 years, I retire. And then they'd say 30 years, 35. But 40-something years, I mean, that's unheard of. That's a long time. Even loving the job, or maybe not even a job, it's just for fun.
It's fun.
But you know what? The best thing is that you survived it, and you raised a family, and then you have your kids following, well, not even kids, because you're the man following your footsteps. Thank you for all your service, and thank you for all the years. And I'm pretty sure your sons and your family also feel honored tonight to have you here. Thank you very much, sir.
Mr. Sheldon, good afternoon. First of all, thank you all of you for being here today. I know that it's a great honor, and it's a great honor for us to have you here for all the years of service. Thank you for everything that you do. Thank you to your family, to your wife, your son, for everything. We really appreciate all your life of service, and this is just a very small token of what you deserve, because you put on a lot of years of service, and we really appreciate that. So may God bless you and your beautiful family, and we hope to see you here very soon. And I really know that Chief Daniel is going to miss you a lot, so stop by.
Mr. Sheldon, thank you very much, number one, for doing the service for Los Fresnos, that you have people like you do it out of your heart and without asking anything in return. So here we are doing something for you, right? I know you didn't ask for this, but I'm sure somebody who gave his time and life to his community. I feel very proud at this moment, and honestly, sir, we're just as proud of you for doing what you did. You're a role model to your family, but you're also a role model to other people out here that have that same passion, and know that at some point, yes, you may be able to retire, but you will look back and enjoy every moment of it. Thank you, sir.
Well, sir, all I can say is congratulations. Well deserved. 40 years. Whew. It's a bunch. It's not time to retire yet.
Firefighter for 50 years.
Yeah, well, you're still not time to retire yet. Trust me. Congratulations, sir.
Thanks, sir.
And your family.
Mark, would you like to, the floor is yours, Mark.
John, come on up here. On behalf of the council and the city of Los Angeles, we have a couple of things for you. Shadow box, and it has both a badge for your lifetime service as a volunteer firefighter, and their patch, as well as the city of Los Angeles patch, and a fire marshal badge for your years of service as a fire marshal. So thank you.
Thank you. Wow, that's fantastic. Thank you.
We also have something for you that we hope you can use. It says 2022 Citizen of the Year, City of Los Fresnos emblem with Geronimo Sheldon's name on it. Cutting board, you might want to cut something on it, but you might want to keep it.
I'll use the backside. Thank you very much.
Then also we have some good stuff for you. This is for your wife. It's for you to use and you to serve her when you barbecue. Some utensils with on behalf of the city of Los Fresnos.
Thank you.
And it says Sheldon. So,
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Real quick, and we'll pass it to a couple others that have presentations. Those of you who are here last time heard this story, but I want to say it again, just so you know. My service in the Los Fresnos Volunteer Fire Department was 24 years. I don't know how you did it so long. But one of the very first calls that I ever went on was a structure fire structure fire is a huge warehouse in Port Isabel. And it was rough, and I didn't know what I was doing, and he grabbed me and he says, "Follow me." And we went into this burning warehouse, and we went a long ways. I don't know how long we went, but I was scared. And there was someone, I can't remember who it was, I think you said Robert Cepeda, was behind me, and we were giving him support. He was doing the heavy lifting, we were handling the hose. But as we got way in there, I looked around, and as I looked around, I saw nothing but fire. I mean, literally, it had gone, the fire had gone crazy. And I said, "Sheldon, there's fire everywhere." And he just laughed. This is in, we have air packs on. He laughed and he says, "Yeah, ain't it great?" And he keeps spraying water. And anyway, that was my introduction. And thank you. My service was better because of you. And what I learned was phenomenal because of you and what you gave me and helped me with. So thank you. Appreciate it. We got a couple other, come on forward.
First of all, thank you all for being here tonight. My name is Laura Matamoros, and I'm from the office of Congressman Vicente Gonzalez. I'm the district director here in the new District 34. And the congressman sends his regards, Mr. Sheldon. He is in DC right now and is not able to be here, but he did send a letter, and I'd like to read that for you. So please accept my sincere congratulations on being named Los Fresnos Citizen of the Year. I am heartened to know we have such a dedicated individual, such as yourself, tirelessly working for the Los Fresnos community. It takes someone truly remarkable to win this award, and your record as a volunteer firefighter and fire marshal speaks for itself. You are an incredible embodiment of what it means to be a leader and Texan, and I look forward to hearing about your future endeavors. Again, congratulations on this accomplishment, and thank you for your dedication to serving our community. Please know that I and many South Texans are proud of you. If I can ever be of assistance to you, please don't hesitate to contact me. And he's got his number here. Sincerely, Vicente Gonzalez, Member of Congress. He also requested in your honor that this flag be flown over the U.S. Capitol for your community service as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Representative Lopez was on, right?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Chris Valadez, and I'm with State Representative Erin Gamez's office. She couldn't be here because she's up in Austin doing legislative work. And I was going to go up to Austin this week, and she goes, "You can't come. You got to stay over there because we got to present something to Mr. Sheldon." She goes, "Do you know him?" And I go, yeah, I think he's my wife's uncle. And and you're also my suegra's brother.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to hold that against you.
Yeah.
You know, but Erin wishes, she wishes she could be here, but you got me.
Well, that's okay.
Let me, and it's a resolution from the state of Texas. Whereas Jeronimo Sheldon is retiring from the Los Fresnos Volunteer Fire Department after more than 4 decades of exemplary service to the agency. And whereas the son of Manuel and Nieves Sheldon, Mr. Sheldon is a graduate of Brownsville High School, answering his nation's call to duty. He served in the U.S. Navy for 4 years, before his honorable discharge in February 1975. He began his career as a firefighter with Brown and Root, and over the years, he has served as an EMT for Port Isabel Emergency Medical Services and Los Fresnos EMS. In 2014, he retired from the Brownsville Fire Department at the rank of lieutenant following 30 years with the department. And whereas, over the course of his tenure with the Los Fresnos VFD, this dedicated first responder has served in many leadership positions, including fire chief and marshal, a title he held for nearly 35 years. He has also delivered the fire prevention presentations at area schools, and in 2022, he was honored by the City of Los Fresnos as Citizen of the Year. Whereas, in all his endeavors, Mr. Sheldon enjoys the love and support of his wife of 47 years, Janet Sheldon. Together, they raised 3 children, Jason, Jared, and the late Derek Sheldon. And whereas, with his courage and professionalism and commitment to the excellence, Geronimo Sheldon has greatly benefited the people of Los Fresnos, and he may indeed reflect with pride and career well spent as he begins the next exciting chapter of his life. Therefore, be it resolved that Geronimo Sheldon be congratulated on his retirement from the Los Fresnos Volunteer Fire Department, and that he be extended sincere best wishes for the future. Signed, Aaron Gomez, State Representative, District 38. Congratulations. No, it's, I see all the presentations and the state. I mean, with the county and the city, get real nice plaques, but Geronimo, the state.
That's what
we got. But you get 2. And you're also gonna get a flag from the state that flew over the Capitol, and that one's coming. So I'll get you that one at the next family gathering.
That sounds good.
All right.
Okay. First of all, I'd like to say, Honorable Mayor, council members, and councilwomen, thank you so much for allowing the county to be part of this presentation for you. Hopefully, it'll continue for years to come. We are always proud to partner with great folks, and partnering with Los Fresnos has been one of my highlights in the 23 years of being a commissioner that I've had. It's been great. You know, on behalf of the County Judge and Commissioners Court, the judge is in Austin. He's not here today, but I want to congratulate you and your family and your community for your service. I'm going to read part of the resolution because I think that Representative Gomez copied our resolution. But I will read the parts that are pertinent to the county, okay? In this resolution, be it resolved on the 3rd day of January of 2023, Cameron County Commissioners Court convened in regular session, and upon the request of the county commissioners, the following item was placed on the agenda of said court for such meeting pursuant to the Government Code, Section 551.041. Consideration and approval of a resolution honoring Mr. Geronimo Sheldon for his 42 years of service and for his retirement from the Los Fresnos Volunteer Fire Department. And I will skip through your high school graduation. I will skip through your naval part. I will skip through all of that because we heard it all, and it's you know, I don't want to bore anyone of this, but it is very fitting. At the end, whereas Geronimo Sheldon continues to be an asset to the Los Fresnos community with the knowledge, experience, and mentorship he has shared with all the firefighters of this great community, Geronimo has decided that it is time to pass the fire hose to the next generation of great firefighters in the community. This decision, we are sure, was not an easy one, but very deserving for the time you've given to this community. Now, therefore, it be resolved that the Commissioners Court congratulates you on this occasion for your service and retirement, and it was approved on the 3rd day of January of this year. I do want to say a few other things. You know, it's not often that we can be in front of folks like you and your family and this community, but all we have to do is think back of maybe like a week ago where we saw what EMT training does for an individual. I think there was a football game with a young man by the name of Damar Hamlin that collapsed on the football field. And because of the work that that EMTs such as you did for that young man. He walked out of the hospital yesterday and is recuperating. So, you know, what you do as a firefighter, as an EMT for your community, and what you did is invaluable services. We hear the stories of Mark that instilled a little fear in him, at least for a little while, Mark, you know, on that fire that you fought alongside with him. But the occasion in which you act and what you do are extremely important for everyone in this audience, for everyone in your community, and for yourself and for us as a county. From the county perspective, we truly appreciate, and I know that there's certain positions that we use folks like him with that experience that can possibly do something for us in a bigger way for a larger part of the community. So on behalf of the judge, commissioner's court, and myself, your servant, congratulations, God bless. And when you catch the fish and use that board and barbecue him, call me.
So we got does this work? Okay. So there's a presentation from our state representative, Janie Lopez, who is actually getting sworn in today. She got sworn in at lunchtime. She wanted to be here but couldn't be here, but she did provide a video. So we're going to play a quick 1-minute video. And this is a video from our state rep, Janie Lopez. To you, Mr. Sheldon. Go ahead and play that. So at this moment, if there's any firefighters or anybody who has a good relationship that wants to come up and say a couple of words in regards to Mr. Sheldon.
Geronimo has really been a servant that, not only him, but actually the fire department. By the way, they had a run at 6 o'clock. They had a call and they had to leave, so they're not here. But they just came back. Awesome. Can all the fire department volunteers stand up? And previous volunteers? You know, I talked to the chief, and they have 35 active volunteers. And out of those 35, they have 5 that have been serving the fire department for 25 years or more. Out of those 35, when somebody becomes retired, in this case, well, he'll be replaced by a waiting list of about 25. And they don't just take volunteers. Here in Los Fresnos, you pretty much have to have your resume, you pretty much have to be interviewed, and maybe for a second interview, and you got to qualify to be a volunteer. Not to brag, but, and I know we have the chief here from Brazil, but Los Fresnos is head and shoulders when it comes to the fire department. I mean, we take a lot of pride. They do things that we don't realize and we take for granted. You know, they have a ISO report that actually that's a formula used to see how much insurance will cost in the area. And we haven't beaten Brownsville yet, but we're up there. We're at 4. It's considered 2. I think Brownsville has 2. You know, it's very, and that formula, they figure out the moment that the fire call comes in, they average the time that the fire truck gets to the house and the service that the fire department provides. Those are little things that we don't realize. You know, we're in bed at 2 in the morning and it's 25 degrees outside, and these guys get a call and they don't wait till morning. They respond. And some of you might not know some of the things that Geronimo has gone through. But, and I told him that if I could bring it up, but about 20 years ago, he was on kidney dialysis. And even so, like that, he was still serving as a volunteer. He got a kidney from his brother, and thank God that he's still here working. So he's a real hero. The other things that you might not know is that I think it was touched earlier that Fire Prevention Week, he would go to all the elementary schools with his volunteer friends, and they would actually do all the elementary schools, not only here in Los Fresnos, but Olmito and Las Yescas. And he would provide them with a coloring book from the fire department. He would provide them with hats that he would get. So it was the little things behind. And that's Mr. Sheldon. Thank you.
Just on behalf of the family, I mean, it was really great, and I think everyone's humbled and honored to be a part of this. Really appreciate all of you and Los Fresnos, the community. Like I said, everybody has a story about him, with him in the fire service. You know, he's raised some great sons that became fire chiefs. But he's been a great mentor, I think, to all of us, not just to me. You know, from me being, you know, my first fire responding here in Los Fresnos probably 28, 30 years ago, somewhere around there, 28 years ago, 15 years old, you know, still in high school. And he said, let's go, it's time, you know, and it was probably the most exciting time of my life at that point. It took me that first fire to learn that the suspenders go on the outside of the pants. So they're dragging my boots on the ground, and he's yelling at me to hurry up, and, you know, and from that moment on, it became a passion. And it's been, you know, thanks to his legacy that, you know, and the example he set for everybody in our community, for his family, for his friends, you know, that's always been him, always being there, willing to help. And now sometimes it's our turn. You know, I know he was at my house the other day for a barbecue, and they had to take over because Gene called me and there was a fire. So, you know, that's just how our life has been growing up, and that's just what we have, and we're very honored to be part of this community. And you know, it's just a passion that we've lived forever, and that's all we've known. And you know, he's a great example of a servant leader for this community. Thank you.
Thank you. My name's Gene Daniels. I'm the chief of the fire department right now, and Commissioner Garza was talking about legacy, and the legacy Geronimo has left in our department. He hasn't left it because I haven't accepted his resignation yet. I don't remember where I put it when I left here. But, you know, I told you how he trained a lot of the members that we have right now, but one of the legacies he's left is this department we have here. It is what it is because of the people that started it in 1948 with their vision. And there's not many volunteer fire departments in the state of Texas that can have an ISO rating like we have the personnel like we have the equipment we have. And it's because of things like Geronimo, you know, his vision through the years, his leadership. He was assistant chief, he was a chief. He probably held every other position before I got into the department. But he is leaving a legacy, and we're proud of that legacy, and we're going to do everything we can to continue that legacy in Geronimo's name, because he taught most of us that are there now. And we really appreciate him. Hate to see you retire, but we'll be tapping into that knowledge. We're always here for you. Appreciate it.
At this time, we'll go ahead and break for a few minutes to get a couple of pictures, and then we'll resume here shortly. I'd say another maybe 10 minutes, and we'll resume our regular meeting agenda. Again, it was such a pleasure to see everybody here coming together for this gentleman who's given so much to the community. We're forever grateful and humbled, and we look forward to taking some pictures with you, and God bless you, and God bless your family. We'll call the meeting to a quick pause. We'll come back here shortly. The time is 6:40. As regards to the consent agenda items, we have a total of 8 agenda consent items. Is there any consent agenda items that anybody would like to pull aside before we take a vote? If not, is there a motion to be made?
I just have a question, Mark. The Pomelo Bend something, which one is that?
The one that's on 803 North between Whipple Road and Henderson. The one we talked about last time.
I didn't remember the name. I was trying to figure out which
There's
one
been a
it
couple
was.
of them.
So at this time, if there's a motion to be made, or if anybody wants to pull anything out, we'll be glad to do that.
Go ahead and make the motion to approve consent agenda E.
I'll go ahead and second that.
So with that said, motion has been made to approve consent agenda item E, 1 through 8. With that said, all those in favor signify by saying aye or raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye. And those who oppose do the same. So at this time, motion carries. Action item number 1, consideration and action for the mayor and council to support and participate in the 2023 It's Time Texas Community Challenge.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, if some of you are aware because you were here prior years, but if you're not, this is an event that the city takes part in and wins.
We do.
It's across the state of Texas, and Christine is part of something that she does with her program, the community health program. And what we ask is that you sign a pledge that you support it. It's great if you participate, but if you can at least just support it with talking to people and getting people to be involved. What it does, it gives us points because you as a city leader sign a support of that. We as a city get points for that. We also get points for anybody that participates. As you participate, if you as you're drinking your water, you can take a photo of yourself drinking water. You upload it into the system and you get points for that. If you're eating healthy, you take a picture of yourself eating healthy and you get points for that. Same with exercise and different things like that. We as a city participate in our challenge within the city. There's 22 folks that have signed up for it, which is pretty cool. Last year we had 18, this year we have 22, so that's good. And we have a challenge amongst us as employees to see kind of a weight loss challenge, how we can participate. So in 2018 was the first year that we participated. We were the runner-up. We got second place. 2019 we got first place. 2020 we got first place. 2021 we got first place. 2022 we got first place, and it's compared to cities our size. So our community supports it. I do have to say it's driven by the community health program with Christine, and so big round for her and kudos for her for doing that. All of those classes that they put on, they push it, and of course that's what they're doing, so they're doing it anyway, so they get part of the challenge and help Los Fresnos win. I will say that they've changed the rules a little bit. We think they changed the rules so that we wouldn't win again. So it's going to be a different challenge. Some of the points that we got before that pushed us over the top, we're not going to be able to get anymore. We'll see how that all turns out, but we'll still do what we do and help those that we can in our community. That's about it.
So with this 8-week program, I know we're working on a video. We just talked about putting together a combined video with possibly the school district. I know Gabby's going to contact them. This also an invite for the council, including Mark and our city attorney. Anybody in the city who wants to participate in this video, we want to do a nice sized video and put that out for the community. You can see that we are all one and not individual. And so I think that'll be pretty neat. We can work on setting a date and time, and if you guys want to accept it, show up. It'll be a couple of minutes, and it'll go a long way. Everybody in the community will get to see us being actively involved in this event. No, not TikTok. I'm forbidden from downloading that app on my phone, but yeah, definitely we'll put together a video. We
Part of
will
it, they
take a
need
quick individual picture.
They need a photo of that.
Just a quick pause while we take a video, a picture.
While they're taking pictures, I would like to say congratulations, Miss Christine. You are amazing. I know that a lot of people follow you and you lead with the example, so congratulations for that. I see the pictures that they upload. Two of my good friends, they have lost a lot of weight going to the classes and watching what they're eating, so thank you and congratulations for that. Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much, and we look forward to the next 8-week challenge. So at this time, is there a motion to be made? I guess we already did it by signing it, so if you want to just make it official and just...
I'll make the motion to consideration and action. Council to support the participation of It's Time Texas Challenge, item 1.
Okay, motion has been made.
I'll second.
Motion has been seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye and raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye. And all those who oppose do the same. Motion carries. Moving on to action item number 2, consideration and action to approve the Los Fresnos Police Department 2022 Racial Profiling Report. I remember this from last time.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, this is an annual report that has to be sent in by our police department. You've had access to it for a few days and to go over it. I want to hit one thing just because it is something that came up in discussions a couple times. And then if Chief Gonzalez is here, if you have any questions for him, it's on page, I will find it, on page 54 in your packet.
Is that 1 of 9, 2 of 9, 3 of 9?
It is 5 of 7. It's the second set. I do it because it's got the percentages. I just, packet page 54, and it's page 5 of 7 in that report. About, in the middle, you can see result of the stop, verbal warning. We don't record verbal warnings, so there is verbal warnings. But the second one under B, which is a few down from there, is written warning, because I think this came up one time as, you know, can our police officers have compassion and give a written warning instead of a citation? I didn't have this information to share with you then, but on this I can, and it's 46.35% of our citations have been a written warning. So I think that says a lot for kind of the concern that was brought up. You can see a couple of lines down the citation, actually given 6442, 52% actual citation for whatever. And then, so that's really the only one I wanted to stress, is that, because it does show that they take what's in front of them and make a good decision on what they should do depending on that situation. So,
Mark, is this report public? Is this
Yes.
Can this be put on the website or something like that? And I say that because a lot of
Yes.
times people do tell me that, like, hey, why doesn't the police department have more compassion? And it would be nice to say, well, look, if you go online, you can actually see the stats for yourself
Yeah.
and know that it's really not what you think it is.
we can do that.
Perfect. Any questions from the council in regards to action item number 2 and the racial profiling report for 2022?
I'll make a motion, Mayor, to go ahead and accept the racial profiling report for the police department year 2022.
Motion has been made,
Go ahead and second that motion.
and motion is seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye or raising your hand. Aye. And all those who oppose do the same. Motion carries. Action item number 3 reads, consideration and action to approve the Community Development Corporation action approving funding for the 2023 retail market analysis.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, this came through the CDC board, and most things that come from them, we put on consent agenda because you have them there to make those decisions. I did want to talk about this one, though, as a reason why it's an action item is because it's something that several of you have mentioned is what are we doing for attracting business and different businesses that we may have to go today to another community to get. This will help us in attracting some of those businesses. We've used them before. All they have to do is take the template that we have and update the data from the 2020 census as well as current information. They will most likely center around Walmart because it's a big hub for us. And as you go there and you use your phone in there, it tells us where you're from and where you live. And so what that does is help us determine our trade analysis and what our trade area is. And our trade area is quite large because of our school district. So I wanted to just mention that. This is a step to be able to help us have a tool. We have a tool right now, but it says 2018. And so these businesses want current data. They can have it for us in 30 days, which is good because in about 45 days, we have a couple of meetings set up with some good businesses that we all would love for them to be here. So.
Sounds pretty exciting. Now, with that said, is this something as well that's on our website that we can possibly maybe go in there and people can?
Once we get it, yes, we'll upload it so that people can see it. But also, businesses will research sometimes. They do their own analysis as well, but maybe this would be something that they click on and, I thought Los Fresnos is a little community. Look at that trade area. You look at what we could do in that community. So yes, we will put that there.
And do you know if on that same area, will there be a spot that has possibly, that DESI can put, for example, properties that are available for sale? That way people can search the area and.
We do have that, just very difficult to keep it updated.
Okay, just a thought, like on the website, that way we can always direct people there and then they can take a look. Any questions from the board in regards to this tool? And if not, if there's a motion to be made.
One question, Mark. The 2,500 is the cost of the CDC, or that's coming from us? You just put it there?
The CDC. What you're doing is you're affirming their approval last night of it.
I'll make the motion to pass the consideration and action of the Community Development Corporation's action of last night approving the funding for a 2023 retail market analysis.
Motion has been made
I'll second.
and motion has been seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye or raising your hand. Aye.
Aye.
And all those who oppose do the same. Motion carries. Action item number 4 reads, consideration and action to approve the engineering fee for the service lines to complete the wastewater collection system on West Highway 100, FM 1575, and Escalante Road.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, the project that's working on those 3 areas, we have funding for the main lines, but they will not pay for the service lines. When we annexed that area, we agreed that we would pay for the service lines. This item is for the engineering piece. The second one is for the construction part. This we have budgeted in our general fund for this. Guzman and Munoz would be doing that work. they're doing the work that's there. So they know, they have all the data. To hire someone to do the rest of it would be cost prohibitive because they would have to go survey and get all that data again. So we recommend doing this and approving this, and they can get right on it, and those service lines will be in another 30 to 45 days.
Any questions from the council?
Mark, the ones on Highway 100, that's already complete? That's one that they were digging along the highway here the last few months?
Yes, sir. That's the main line, the trunk line that goes there. They'll do the same on 1575 around Escalante Road and then up Escalante Road. But that was just the big 8-inch sewer line. Now we connect that sewer line to each business or each home. And those folks are, you probably all receive calls. They're ready. So we're ready.
I make a motion that we go ahead and accept and approve the construction cost for service lines to complete the wastewater collection system.
Motion has been made,
I'll second.
and motion has been seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye and raising your hand. Aye. And all those who oppose do the same. Motion carries. Action item number 5 reads, consideration and action to approve the construction costs for the service lines to complete the wastewater collection system on West Highway 100, FM 1575, and Escalante Road.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, this is just the second piece to that for the actual construction. The company that will do this is Cornet Construction, which is the same one that's doing the trunk lines. So they'll just continue on. They're an excellent company to work for and with, and we can, those costs, we take those costs from the prior bid, and so we know that it's a good price, and we can add to the contract in order to get this done. The funding source comes from the COVID money is what everybody calls it, and we've used only about $198,000 for a water tank at our water plant, and then we were waiting for this figure to use this amount, and then we will be coming back to you with the additional. There's about 1.5 million left of that we will do more sewer lines and manhole improvements where we're having infiltration from rainwater. So we have the funding for it, and that's what our recommendation is.
Any questions or comments from the council? If not, if there's a motion to be made, now's the time.
So they're also gonna decommission the septic tanks, so as added, so we're getting both at the same time, which helps out the citizens as well.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I have no further questions, because I know it's something that we've been, waiting on and pending, and we're glad it's happening, so I know those citizens, will rest assured that we're getting what we needed to get done, so thank you, Mark, on that, and they worked pretty dang quickly. I was very impressed with that.
So is there a motion to be made?
Mayor, I'll make the motion to approve the construction cost for 1575 100 in Escalante Road.
Motion has been made,
I'll go ahead and second that motion.
and motion has been seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye and raising your hand. Aye. And all those who oppose do the same. Motion carries. Action item number 6 reads, discuss, consider, and select administration project delivery service provider to complete application and project implementation for the City of Los Fresnos 2023-2024 Community Development Block Program funded and administered through the Texas Department of Agriculture.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, especially the two new, this is something that comes every 2 years. Right now, we are in the last part of the first cycle, which we will do some sewer manholes and some sewer lines where we had already done a study to show that they needed to be replaced. So that's the current one. This is the future one, and this is to select the grant administrator to help us and assist us with that. We have not selected a project yet. That will come in the next month, hopefully, or so, where we'll select a project. We'll come to you and say, these are the needs. This is the one we recommend. So this one we sent out bids, information for proposals. Received one proposal back. My tongue is getting tied. One proposal back from GrantWorks, and so that's our recommendation. They do quite a bit of work for us on the city with Grant, and they're here today if there's any questions, but they'll continue that process.
Thank you, Mark. Does any of the council have any questions for GrantWorks or for Mark in regards to this particular item?
On this grant, Mark, is there a matching amount, or is it pretty much set as 500,000, or?
There's no matching, but you get points when you add so much percentage to the project. So we'll be working with that to see, and the more points you get, the better chances of you getting it funded. So we'll look at the project and see, hey, how can we maximize our points? And so it might be that we would add some water and sewer funds if it's a water and sewer project, or general funds if it's another project, in order to maximize our points. Does that help? You're not committing to that today, but that's something we'll bring you with the project and see how far we can get that money to stretch.
Have we applied before in this? Is
Yes.
this pretty much a yearly deal?
Every 2 years. Big cities, they automatically get an X amount. Small cities have to compete for it, and unfortunately, I think it should be the other way around because big cities have other revenue streams where we do not. But this was set up many years ago, but it's a grant, it's a 2-year cycle. Historically, in the past, the small cities have had a gentleman's agreement where we shared, and so you knew that you were going to get funded every 2 years. State doesn't really like that. They want us to just apply on our own merit and not because we're in a gentleman's agreement, so it looks like that's the way it's going to move to. So we will want to maximize points in funding. Other points that you get is if you've done prior projects well, and you get maximum points. If it's water, wastewater, and I believe drainage, and I think they might have added streets to it now. One of those 4 projects, you get maximum points. If you decide you want to do a city hall or something, they don't give you as many points because they don't see that as a basic need like water, sewer, drainage, and streets.
Thank you, Mark.
Any other questions in regards to action item number 6?
What previous either grants or projects that we worked on with them and corroborated over the last few years?
Every one of our CBDG grants, some of our park grants, they have been the administrator through Texas Parks and Wildlife. But I think probably the last 5 probably, which would cover 10 years or so. Drainage project, water project, wastewater project, so pretty much all of them.
Would you like to come up here?
Come up to the podium so that way the people online can also hear you. And thanks for being here today, all the way from Hebronville.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Javier Zambrano with Grant Works and Nelda Barrera also with Grant Works. Grant Works has been around since 1979, and we have over 400 employees. We have people in the valley. We have Nelda and Oralia Cardenas. They're both in McAllen. Anthony Kavasovich is in Westlaco, and I'm in Hebronville. And I'm the one that a lot of times they'll send down here. I don't know why, but I'm the farthest away. But it doesn't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind. In any case, as the gentleman was talking about, I always forget his name, but water, wastewater, streets, and drainage, you get the biggest points. And also, if you have a public hearing, you get points there. And that's very important because you all don't have a gentleman's agreement anymore, right? And this is what he's talking about. So we need as many points as possible. So that's, and then Grant Works has got departments that will take care of just about anything that comes up. So we're glad to be here, and if you hire us, we'll take care of you. Any questions?
Hey, Mark, has Grant Work done work for us before here in the city of Los Fresnos? Or
I'm sorry,
have you done work here before with the city?
Oh, yes, we've done some work here. Grant Work has done some projects here. And I think it's been wastewater, right?
All kinds. We've done streets, we've done wastewater. They helped us when we got some hurricane, can't remember which Hurricane Dolly fund or maybe it's just the flooding funds. But we're hiring them specifically for this CBDG grant because we have to do that. The city council has hired Grant Works to be our city grant administrator so that if I see a project that's out there or they see a project that fits us, they give me a call and say, hey, you need to apply for this. And I get those calls frequently. Hey, are you interested in this? So they already have worked with us for many, many years as kind of our go-to, and they know about our parks, they know about our needs, so that as they're seeing grants become available, they funnel them our ways to see if we're interested.
And besides that, I've been here doing.
You want to press that button right there so that the little red button, there you go.
Here?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. I've been here several times doing surveys, and this is house to house to make sure that we're serving the low to moderate income people, and because this is what the funds are for. Yes, sir.
One last question. On Grant Works, what other communities within this area do you all service? Do we have any competitors like next to us that are going to be competing for the same grant?
We've done work over at Rio Hondo, Primera, Willacy, Raymondville. I'm sorry? Lyford? Okay. There's a large number of communities that we've done here around here. I was in Escobares just a little while ago. We've done business with Rio Grande City, and I wish that Oralia Cardenas was here because she's the one that knows every little town because she lives here around this area. But we've done business here with a lot of communities.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any questions? Comments? If not, if there's a motion to be made?
Mayor, I'm gonna make a motion to go ahead and select this Grand Works to go ahead and work on the CDBG project.
Motion has been made to select,
I'll second.
and motion has been seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye and raising your hand. Aye. And all those who oppose do the same. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Action item number 7, discuss, consider, and select engineering, architectural, surveying, service providers to complete project implementation for the City of Los Fresnos 2023-2024 Community Development Block Program funding administered by the Texas Department of Agriculture.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, this is the second piece to that where we need an engineer to do the part of it. We sent out proposals, I can't remember how many, there's a minimum number that they require us to send to. We sent a bunch out. We received 4 M2 engineers, Ambiotech, Guzman and Munoz, and Hanson. Those 4 were received. We rated them and asked that you could rate them as well. We deal with them, so that's why you see those figures. Hanson is the #1 rated in this rating, so that's our recommendation. They are our city engineers. They do a lot of our projects, the drainage project they're doing right now. Guzman and Munoz is the next one on the list. They're doing the Highway 100 project that we just talked about, and Ambiotech, they were the engineer on the Henderson Road project. M2 engineers, we have not dealt with them before, and so you can see our recommendation is Hanson, and would like to move forward with that.
And how many people rated that when you all got together? How many was it?
The four of us, you can see Pablo, myself, Jackie, and Raul as with the Public Works.
And you did include in the packet for everybody if they wanted to participate in the
Correct.
rating. They're able to get some experience with that.
And it's a rating sheet. If you looked at the rating sheet, it asks about experience, it asks about different criteria, so that it's not based on whether someone likes someone or not, or it actually, you have to look at jobs that they've done and completed, and so all those factors are taken into account.
So basically, it's a way to do your due diligence to ensure that
Correct.
we're picking somebody based on experience, people, process, etc. Any questions about the process, or is there a motion to be made?
Hey, Mark, you said this goes piggyback on the first one that we just went ahead and agreed on. Is this once you get awarded the money or something similar to that, or what?
Yes, yes and yes. There is some preliminary things that the firm would have to do to get information ready to submit. So they know that if they don't get funded, they don't get paid. So we're pretty sure we'll get funded. So, but there is some legwork up front that has to happen, and then it will be to complete the project once it's approved.
I noticed this one that Hanson also is currently the one doing the drainage for our Resaca.
Yes, sir.
And Escondida area.
And our street project will come up for you next meeting, actually street and sewer.
I'll go ahead and make a motion that we select Hanson Engineering as for action item number 7.
I'll second.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye and raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye. And all those who oppose do the same. Motion carries. Action item number 8, consideration and action to authorize the city manager to dispose of surplus items. Mark?
Mr. Mr. Mayor, members of the council, as time goes, things get old and worn out, and you can see some pictures that we have in there, as well as a list on your packet page that summarizes it on packet page 75. Those are some of the things we want to dispose of. The way we do that is we have a auctioneer come in and actually do it's an auction online. It's been very successful. We did one the last time we did surplus items, and it was very, very good for us. Before we had just put them in the paper and we get $50 and $20, but they have a following with the auctioneers, and so we'll do that same process to get rid of this.
Wasn't there a situation once where there was some miscommunication between somebody who was trying to buy something and the auctioneer program that was happening? Was that same company that was doing this? Do you recall that situation?
I recall it very well, but it was not the company. It was
Yeah, it was a miscommunication from the person buying it.
it was the individuals that.
Okay, okay. But this is the same company that's doing all this
Correct.
auctioneering. Okay.
Hey, Mark, over by the range, there's some other stuff that's not listed on the surplus that looks like it's been abandoned. I don't know if the PD didn't list it, like an old motorcycle and that they have there, a couple motorcycles, it's like, I don't know if the city owns it or seized property, but it seems to be marked, so.
I think those were done the last time. I'll look, but I think those were done the last time, and just nobody bid on it, so we still have them. But those kind of things we can just get rid of because it was either, if you don't get a bid, you just get rid of it. I'll look at that.
You want to make an offer?
No, they're not.
No, it's an old.
They're
company.
bad.
You're like, no, it's okay. All right, folks, any questions about the list of surplus items? If not, if there's a motion to be made?
I'll make a motion, we accept and authorize city manager dispose of this stuff.
I'll second.
Great, motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye and raising your hand. Aye. And all those who oppose do the same. Motion carries. At this time, we'll be discussing the acknowledgement of the city manager's reports. Mark, I'm not sure if there's any project you want to update us on?
Yeah, I would like to, the drainage, which is D. We had a meeting with Paulina today with Hanson. They're going to be starting the environmental on those drainage projects. Two of the three are engineered already. However, we have to still do the environmental, so she'll be doing that. We think we can get that done pretty quick so that we can put those for advertisement and bid. The others, they'll be working longer term on Valle Alto, where that detention area is between Canal Street and Valle Alto. There's a detention area that is going to be cleaned out, but they have to design and see how they're going to do it. And then it comes from there all the way to Highway 100 there by O'Reilly's. Now that irrigation line is underground, we have more room to work. We can clean it properly and actually widen that to add capacity because in 2018, I believe it was 2018 when there was some water in about 4 or 5 homes there on Valle Alto, right up next to the canal. So we feel like that'll resolve that problem. So the other piece will be just working with us on where any other drainage issues are, and they'll be working models to see how do we resolve that, and then we'll have a master drainage report at the end of their study to give us, and then we really need that because once we have that, then we can go to grant funding agencies that do grants for drainage and say, hey, we've already got the engineering part. Can you give us money to make it happen? So that'll happen. That's one of the things we'll give GrantWorks and say, hey, can you find us money for this? Cameron County Drainage District, number 1, is continuing to widen the drainage ditch from 1847 to this main ditch behind the rodeo grounds. I've already done a ton of work and added a lot of capacity, so that's good. Skip to Whipple Road, that's number E. Mayor and I, and as well as the Chamber, School District, County, Commissioner Garza was here tonight, but giving letters for support of Whipple Road. It is on the books, but there's processes that they have to go through, and one of them is to have a public comment period, and so we sent letters of support to, yes, we need it, make this happen. So that's still going. It's just, it takes a very long time for state and federal entities to make it happen. So if you drive Whipple Road frequently, you know it needs to be widened. So we'll continue down that process. G, TxDOT, Highway 100, the big one. I talked to Renee from TxDOT today. He says from him and the engineer, they assure us that it will be done before the 3rd weekend of February. I sure hope so. They're working hard to make that happen. I said, well, at least if you could, even if you notice when they do a project, they don't put the last layer on until it's all done and they put the last layer on. I said, even if you have to leave the last layer off and we put cones for separating of the lanes and everything, we will make it happen if you can get the barricades out of the way. Otherwise, our city is going to be in rough shape during that weekend because of the number of vehicles. But he told me this afternoon that they have a schedule and they can finish before that weekend. So,
Hey, Mark, one of the concerns I've seen is when we have emergency vehicles driving through there and it's a 2-lane road, it's very difficult for them to pass, and I'm just concerned that that could cause issues or problems. I know it's not our issue.
Been
it's
going
the
on for a
state,
year and a half.
But I just wish there was an alternate route for those emergency vehicles to take.
They do when they can.
Okay, because I've seen them kind of honking and waiting, and, you know, cars can't move because there's traffic on both sides, so it's just an eyesore to see that happening here in our town.
We got 5.5 weeks to.
The countdown begins.
Anyway, that's what he told me today. I said we can have a party if they happen.
It's been going on since COVID first in 2020. I think at the end of 2020 is when
April of 21.
Okay, it was 2021. People were just getting over COVID, and then here we get the whole construction project. So I feel for those businesses that have been struggling since COVID, and now they got the roadblocks, but it's good to hear that there's some progress. Mark, how about that hike and bike trail? I know that they were supposed to connect, and it just kind of feels like it's been lost.
Yeah, City of Brownsville is working on easements and not having a lot of luck, so they have to get easements and those things. Part of it's with the federal government, so they don't move quick. So you're right, nothing's happening, zero, except maybe some things behind the scenes of trying to get those easements negotiated. But when it happens, we'll move forward. Jay, on street repairs, we're sending out the bid advertisement, I believe, tomorrow to come in the paper for the next couple of weeks, and then we will receive bids the 1st of February, and we'll hope to have a recommendation to you for several of the streets to be repaired that y'all approved the list now about a year or so ago. And hopefully we'll have the funds to do all of that. And then we have some alternates that we didn't think we might have enough, and we might not have enough funding. And it'd be good to have good bids and be able to do all of those. But Depends on the prices, and we will have that for you, the February meeting. And then K, under drought contingency, actually the dam capacity went up a little bit. It's 32.3, it was 32 point something. It's not significant, except that when you're in that business and it doesn't go down, that's good. And that's all I have that I wanted to point out. You might have other questions.
Section J, street repairs, so the bid was too high, we only had one company bid to it, so we're just gonna hold off on that, I'm okay with that. Outside of that, I don't have any questions.
That's the one that I said we'll have the bid for the new work next month.
Is there a motion or questions for the acknowledgement of the city manager's reports?
I'll make a motion to approve the acknowledgement of the city manager's report.
Motion has been made,
I'll second that motion.
and motion has been seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye and raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye. And all those who oppose do the same. Motion carries. Acknowledgement of department head reports. There's a total of 7 reports on file. Any questions from any of the council in regards to any of the reports? If not, if there's a motion to be made,
Make a motion, we accept the department head reports.
and I'll go ahead and second that. Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye and raising your hand. Aye. And all those who oppose do the same. Motion carries. At this time, the time is 7:51. Deliberation pursuant to Section 551074, Title 5 of the Texas Government Code, the Texas Open Meetings Act regarding the evaluation of the city manager. So at 7:51, we'll break into closed session. And I guess I'll just read the second one too. Closed session in accordance to Section 551071, the Texas Open Meetings Act, consultation with attorney to deliberate pending or contemplated litigation. So again, 7:51, we'll go ahead and close the session. or open the meeting. Consideration and action as necessary resulting from deliberation in executive session pursuant to the Texas Government Code, Section 551074, regarding the evaluation of the city manager. We take action? No action taken. Do we have to vote on that, Mark? No? Okay. Open session in accordance to Section 551071, the Texas Open Meetings Act, deliberation and possible action regarding consultation with attorney on pending or contemplated litigation. The time is 9:18. Go ahead and close the meeting. Have a good evening.